very much for joining us. Welcome to 2026. We are still bringing the legal matters, employment law and immigration law updates in the United Kingdom. You can share the program for us as soon as you join us. Welcome again to the year 2026. What is ahead of us, what is coming? We will do the best that we can and bring you all the updates so that you know what to expect in the new year. If you are watching us on Facebook, TikTok, we ask that you share the program for us. There was a bit of technical issues, so I struggled to log on today. But I have hustled and I have bustled and I have got there. Yes. So if you join us, we encourage you to share the program for us, because all the updates you're going to get it this afternoon, this morning, this evening, depending on where you are watching us from or where you are listening. I'm also taking this opportunity to share the program as I speak, because some people may assume that we are not here because of the slight delay. But you know what they say? We don't come to bow, we come to conquer. And as long as we continue on this journey of life, justice and law will always do the best that they can and bring you legal matters every week. Yes, justice and law solicitors, we've been going on and we've been banging on, giving the best that we could. And a lot of people have benefited from this program. And I believe by sharing this program, you are also sharing the blessings to the people that you shared it with. So by all means, you know, as they say, a journey of 1,000 miles begin with a step. We should thank our Lord for watching over us over the year. We are now in new dawn, a new year. It is our prayers that the Lord Almighty continue to watch over us and bless us. Anything that we touch, let it be a testament. Yes. Life is one big road, like I say. It's full of signs. The devil will always come our way to seek and to destroy your hard work, the beauty that you're trying to build. Like I say, the devil is not anywhere to be found. The enemy and the devil is among us. You don't have to look far, but to look around you. That is where you find the devil. It is our hope and praise that the Lord Almighty God open our eyes so that we can see the dangers, so that we can navigate our way through the difficulties of life, so that destiny, prosperity will be yours. Yes, as soon as we join and share the program for us, the Lord Almighty God has done good. At times like this, we also pray for the dead, for the deceased, those who were not able to make it through the year. We ask God. The Muslim will say for Jannah. We ask God for His mercies for the departed souls. Now, I ask myself, what is it that I can do? What is it that I can bring to you this 2026? What difference can I make in your life? And all that I can do is to come and share the legal gospel with you. And I believe that through this, you'll be able to make differences in your lives. You'll be able to make informed decisions. Yes. Like I say, this is good news. 2026 is going to be the year that we will say, yes, it has made a difference in our lives. Yes. So if you are watching me, join me, share the program to all your loved ones. And we can only give thanks and praises to the Lord Almighty. So whilst we're doing that, then of course, we will also share the program to all our loved ones, and when we come, we continue the program. So yemfa seda ema onyame eye aseda nkoa. On my face, they block our way, so me say what you na me me say me na o na me she na she me say what you na me say me na o me didn't na ba ya si do I say na 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 me didn't na ba ya si do I say na 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 why am I born here? I'm in Francia. Don't have any better work. I say, no, but to me on top of the battery. When I'm out there, I'm a fashion. And then I'm from Ramashe. I'm on your own, baby. I'm a guru. You see me when you're not. She died. She won't. Me say, what you're not. Me say, what you're not. She died. She won't. Me didn't know about yesterday.
Imagine waking up on your own schedule, grabbing...
So thank you very much for staying around. Let's bring you the update in relation to UK immigration law, as well as employment law, what is coming in 2026, 2027, and things that you should be aware of. I will also, if time permits, talk briefly about de facto adoption and what is it that you can do in order to qualify to bring your family member to the United Kingdom through the de facto adoption rules. Many a times people ask these questions and sometimes, it's too late for us to be able to give any advice because of a clause within the rules. So man have to be very, very, very aware what needs to be done. Typical example is where you may have a brother, you may have a sister who may pass away and their children becomes your burden. And within the rules, it does not give you automatic right by the fact that you look after your children, your brother's children or your sister's children to bring them to the United Kingdom. One of the best, I would say, rule that perhaps you could rely on is paragraph 310 of the immigration rules, and this deal with something called the de facto adoption. So briefly we will look at the requirement and what is it that you could do, what is it that you can do in order to be able to fit into this criteria. If you do, then by all means you can make the application. Regardless of whether the children are your own children or they are your sister's children or your brother's children, that you have assumed responsibility for these children. We will look at that. We will also be looking at employment law update, what is coming. We will look at immigration law update, what is coming for the coming year, so that we can all prepare ourselves. And I will look at this advice. This is a brief advice that those people who travel a lot, especially if you have a limited visa or if you have a visa that there are question marks, around those visas, things that you should be very, very careful about. And, just basically to be careful. That's all that I can say in that respect. And I will give brief example of a case that has just gone before the UK court, which the court in this particular case made it very clear to the Home Office that they are being very, very, very shady, and that the decision that they made was not made in good faith. So I will start with that case first. Let's see if I can find the name of the case. But as I'm looking for the name of the case, basically this is a case that this gentleman is a Jamaican, and basically he had all sorts of records. He had criminal records, and his indefinite leave to remain was curtailed or was cancelled, and as a result, basically he didn't have a stay in the United Kingdom. Subsequently, as this brother was facing immigration challenges, what he did was to apply for asylum. And when he applied for an asylum, the application was pending anyway. And at some point, Home Office advised him that he's got indefinite, and therefore he must apply for no time limit. So this brother here then applied for no time limit, NTL. And once he's done that, he was able to create e-visa account. He was able to work and do everything just like everyone else. He was able to use his e-visa to travel and come back. On the last occasion, this man, I think, traveled to, Turkey also. He traveled to Turkey. And on his way back, the Home Office advised the airlines that they should not allow him to board the plane. So this man became Samain King. You know, he was told by the airlines that they have been instructed by the Home Office not to allow him to board the plane. So this guy becomes stranded, living in a foreign country. No home, no money, no nothing. So he quickly applied for judicial review, you see. And the strange thing is this. The judicial review proceedings were launched on 23rd of October 2025 in the upper tribunal. But due to jurisdiction reasons, the case was referred to the administrative court, which had the power to hear such a case. Home Office, strange enough, made their decision after this guy had traveled to Turkey on 2nd of October 2025. And basically, while this guy was on holidays, after he has acquired his indefinite leave to remain over 6 years, so this guy applied for judicial review. And in the end, the court held that the decision made by the Home Office in early October, after 6 years of granting this individual indefinite leave to remain, allowing him to create e-visa, go and come as he pleases, and then for you to now just make a quick decision on 2nd of October, telling him that his asylum application has been refused and therefore he doesn't have no basis to be in the United Kingdom, was deemed to be shady. And as a result, the applicant's case was upheld by the administrative court. And therefore, unfortunately, the Home Office will have to, if you like, back off and grant him his visa, or allow him to come back to the United Kingdom. As to what the Secretary of State is going to do, we do not know. But it will be interesting to see what they will do. So, what we are trying to say here, or the advice to you, is we are now in 2026. Be very, very careful in your goings and comings. And also, be very, very, very careful who you talk to and who you tell your story to. I've always had this belief that when it comes to immigration and nationality, how you acquire your status, how you acquire your stay in the United Kingdom, this is something that I always believe you must take it to your grave. And I will say this with no apology. I will give examples why I say that and why I stand by it. A man without a secret, or a person without a secret, is like a kinky being carried on someone's head for sale. The seller doesn't care who will buy it. As long as the person has got money to pay the right price for the kinky seller will sell it. Nana Adolfo, he says something in one of his songs. Nya asem nehwe. Yebeswa wasem te se dokono. Yedi besi jaso ama obiara ababe tobi. It's for this reason that I always say to people, How you get your status, how you get your papers, is your business. It doesn't have to be a football. You don't have to get out there and tell everyone. Why am I saying this? Whilst you can encourage your brothers and sisters, whilst you can advise them to some extent, but never use yourself as an example. Because if you do, it's something that you regret at some point in your life. That one is a fact. That one is a fact. So what I say to you is, you have to be watchful. How you get your status is your business. You don't have to be telling people about your business. It's very, very important. I will say this, and I will say this, and I will say this once again. How you make it to the United Kingdom is your business. And I will say this to people, it's something that I think should only be known by you and the Home Office. But if you decide to tell people, then of course, that is your choice. But be mindful that one day, the very person that you talk to, the very person that you believe that the person is going your back will be the Judas to betray you. Unless you don't have a choice in the matter. But if you do, my advice to you is be very, very careful. You know, just look around us following the death of Daddy Lumumba. Look at some of the stuff that people are spewing on the internet. Sometimes I sit there and I ask myself, are these people just making it up? Or is something that they have heard from a reliable source? Names that has been mentioned, I don't even want to repeat it because it's ridiculous. Some of the things that people have said. I've asked myself so many questions. And it goes to, for me, it goes to show that what I believe, what I'm saying, I'm right all along. So, how you get your papers is something that I think, even if you need to advise someone, just say it in general. Don't just equate that to your story. Because everyone has got their own story. And I think it's also very, very important that, you know, at least you have a bit of secret. You don't have to share everything with people because you simply never know what awaits you tomorrow. So that is all that I can say in this respect. This Jamaican guy, I think, is being very, very lucky. Because imagine that October, this incident happens, and then you are able to get your case through the courts and basically get a decision within the same month. It's unheard of. And this brother here is very, very, very lucky. That is the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying. How you get your papers, how you move. By all means, you know, make sure that it doesn't become public debate or public information. Typical example is another one. Look at what is going on in Minnesota, in America. The Somalian community. Look at what's going on. Now, if what we are seeing from the news is true, they are being gathered in numbers. And some of them, according to some news outlets, have been deported back to Somalia. Wrongly or rightly, depend on how you want to argue your case. Don't shoot the messenger. Look around you and look within, and then advise yourself. Because one have to realize that your progress is someone's problem. We need to accept that fact. It's a bitter pill to swallow. Your progress is someone's problem. Your destiny is someone's work to make sure that their destiny cannot be fulfilled if it's a good destiny. So everyone has got a role to play. But if you expose yourself to some of these dangers, then you need to advise yourself. One philosopher says something. Never review your plans until they are accomplished. Never tell people what you are planning to do. They may steal your ideas. They may basically discourage you. And one thing about life is this: the most brilliant ideas comes from sometimes ridiculous analysis and theory. Necessity, as they say, is a mother of invention. Sometimes idea may come to your head. You might think this is ridiculous. How is this achievable? As soon as you tell a friend, oh, don't worry about it, this is not going to work, straight away, the person kills your dream. Be careful about people like that. And for me, the year 2020, we have to be ambitious. We have to be courageous. And we also have to be, positive in what we do. Do not let anyone discourage you. This is a new year. This is a new wave. This is a new hope, new beginning, and a new start. We have to be soldiers. And we have to keep marching through. With the belief and hope, we will get to our destination. Regardless of what, life is one big road. And it is full of signs. When you hit the rut, Bimbani said, don't complicate your mind. All that you have to do is keep going. Ron Kenole. See, if you are going through hell, don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Keep going. Because at the end of every tunnel, there shall be light. So that's how it is. Let's look at the new rules. New visa rules for 2026. The UK immigration changes set for the new year. Share the program to your loved ones, to your brothers, to your sisters, so that they can also benefit from the program. Because these new changes, sometimes people say, yeah, I have got my British passport and therefore I should not be bothered. It doesn't bother me. Like I say, everything bothers everyone. Because if it doesn't hit you today, it's probably going to hit you tomorrow. So what I say is this. You just have to keep going. Never give up. Never stop. Because at the end of the day, what do you have to lose? You have nothing to lose. I'd rather try, but not trying at all. Try and fail is better than not trying at all. And therefore, share the program to all your loved ones. Maybe, just maybe, Even if they don't have immigration issues today, they may have it tomorrow. If they don't have employment issues today, they may have it tomorrow. So let's go on with the update. As we all know, back in June, the UK Border Agency made an announcement that our brothers and sisters, especially those who came in with care work, skilled work visas, they are bringing in a policy that if you are a dependent of a skilled worker, you will not be allowed to switch your visa to become a spouse within the United Kingdom. That announcement was made, and strangely, when you look at paragraph 284 of the immigration rules, it was incorporated into that section of the rules. Surprisingly, under Appendix FM, it is not there. And I have banked on and banked on and banked on this one. And strange enough, that change hasn't been made. And therefore, technically, one would argue that even if you are a dependent of a skilled worker migrant, and for one reason or the other, the marriage has come to an end, and you have divorced, and hold and behold, you are now in a relationship with a British national, someone with indefinite leave to remain, or an European national with settlement or pre-settlement status, and you decide to marry. The question, therefore, is in the face of that announcement, can you submit an application as a spouse of a settled person? Lawyer Darko, I have said it here before, that under Appendix FM, I will still argue the answer is yes. Why would I still argue the answer is yes? Because the justice and law, we have put this into practice. And in fact, my latest decision was received only yesterday. The individual came to see me some time ago. And I explained to this individual, as I've just explained. I showed him the law. We read through the law together. And I said, as far as I am concerned, the announcement was made, but it has not been incorporated into Appendix FM. And as far as I am concerned, if I do the application under Appendix FM, I see no reason why the application will be refused. So we build up the courage together. We put in the application. The person did fingerprint yesterday. And I was monitoring all day. Did his fingerprint about 10 o'clock. By 3 o'clock, application granted, which was a relief. Having said that, I've done various applications between June, July, up to now, and they have all been successful as we speak. So the fact that the announcement was made does not necessarily mean that it has been incorporated into a particular section of the law. And if it has not been incorporated into that particular section of the law, then this is where lawyers come into play. Because my job as a lawyer is to interpret the law and explain the law and work with the law. So sometimes when people say, oh, but this is not right, this is immoral. Massa, there is a difference between morality and the law. And I will use typical example of Daddy Lumbe's death and the subsequent application for injunction, and the judge having to put restriction on the injunction for it to be effective. A lot of people are jumping about, yeah. They don't understand. I said there, and I say something called judicial precedence. Judges, they are powerful than politicians. Judges are powerful than even the executive. That is the reason why they say the law is at the bosom of the judge. When you do constitutional studies, you say that there are three arms of government: the legislature, responsible for making legislation, the law; the executives, responsible for enforcing the law; and then you have the judiciary for interpretation of the law. That is just a fallacy. Because if you do critical analysis of the law, you will see that judges, in fact, also make law. That is what they call the judicial precedence. A judiciary will set up a precedent, and indirectly it becomes the law. Other cases follow suit. So how do judges set precedent? You set precedent by making an example, and then others will follow. So typical example is Lumbe's saga, where people are jumping and screaming and, how can you make a decision and within an hour put a restriction and because it's judge-made laws. It's a common law remedy. And that is the reason why, in some jurisdictions, we say that the Constitution is a living instrument. It is not fixed. It changes over time. And therefore, sometimes, if it doesn't go your way, of course, you have the right to complain. If it goes your way, it's brilliant. Such is life. Right. So, that is how it is. So, what we say is this. If you come in as a skilled worker or a dependent of a skilled worker, and your marriage has broken down, you have met someone who is British and so on and so forth, then of course you could switch to become a spouse. Even if you've been given a 60 days notice, you are with your girlfriend, you are in love with her, you want to marry her, of course you could also do that. You could also make an application as long as you are married. Question that people have asked, that once again, I will also use the Lumba's situation as an example, is whether customary Ghanaian marriage is recognized in the United Kingdom. The leading case is called CB Brazil, where the court set up scenarios where such marriages may be recognized in the United Kingdom. In the case of CB Brazil, the court stated that as long as the marriage is accepted in the country in which it took place, and all the applicable laws, rules, customs are satisfied, and the documentation is genuine, then of course UK VI do not have the right to refuse such an application. Now, listen to these scenarios. I did a case for someone, 2 Guyanese. They are customarily married to one another. We submitted the application on the basis of their marriage. Home Office came back and granted the application on the basis that they believe that they are in a relationship, but they will not accept the marriage certificate. This is just this November. When I got the decision, and therefore they granted my client 2.5 years on a 10-year route. The decision was unreasonable and unfair. So I discussed it with the client, and I said, you know something, I will fight this case for you. I will not charge you a penny. Why? Because I believe that the decision that the Home Office made was palpably wrong. The decision is so wrong, I could not fathom it. I could not understand it. I could not believe it. Because it's established principle that customary marriages are acceptable marriages in the United Kingdom. And even UKVI own guidelines. They have referred to the case of CB Brazil. And they have set out the conditions that must be satisfied in order for such marriages to be accepted. So for me, for the UK Border Agency to simply refuse the application on the basis of the marriage and then grant it on the basis of genuine relationship and being together with a settled person, even though they haven't been living together for 2 years, for me was a shamble. And therefore, no right of appeal. So the only way to challenge this decision is by way of judicial review. Pre-action protocol has been served and acknowledged. Whilst it may take a bit of time for them to deal with it, I believe that after I have pointed out the legality of the decision and how wrong, how bad it is, I believe that they will rescind the decision and change their mind. Push forward, I've just done a case. The person did fingerprint yesterday. It was a customary marriage. And the application has been granted. So this is where sometimes you see inconsistencies in the application of the law. So what this tells us is that, if you have a representative, and sometimes things do not go your way. For me, it is very, very important that you look at the reasons why things have not gone your way, rather than looking at, is this person's fault, is this person's fault, is this person's fault. Because if you try to blame the representative and it is not his fault, in the end, you're going to look ridiculous. And we see that all the time. As a representative, for example, some people will behave so bad that the relationship that you have, it damages forever and it's irrevocable. There are certain decisions that once you make that decision and the relationship breaks, that is it. There is no way back. The relationship is destroyed forever. So there are certain lines that we don't cross as a human being. Animals don't have a brain to think and rationalize and reason, and therefore they will cross every line. But as a rational human being, there are certain lines that you don't cross. Once you cross it, the relationship is done forever. It will never be the same. And therefore, it's very, very important that if you have a representative and something goes wrong, I think it's vital that you understand what has gone wrong before maybe you start casting blames. As a lawyer, our job is very, very tough. Because when it goes the way the person wants it to go, you are like God. And when it doesn't, you are the devil. And sometimes, it's justifiable, but sometimes it cannot be justified. Typical example is a case that, in fact, it's just about a year now that someone raised against me. And the person's argument was that the application that I submitted was not done in a way that favored his children. Then I asked myself, what sort of application, apart from the one that I did, that you think I could have done? So the person ignorantly and foolishly said that I should have done Appendix FM application. And I said that, well, if you look at the application form, it says Appendix FM application. If you look at the decision that the Home Office made, Home Office have stated that you have submitted an application under Appendix FM. If you look at my client care letter and everything I've given you, it actually specifies that the application is being submitted under Appendix FM. So if you are telling me that you have sought legal advice from another lawyer, and the lawyer is telling you that I should have done application under Appendix FM, then the lawyer does not know what he is talking about. Then the person is not a lawyer. Be very, very careful where you seek advice from. Because the evidence is in front of you, telling you that the application has been done under Appendix FM. The application was refused because you supplied a death certificate, which the Home Office said was a fake death certificate. When you were asked to come and defend it, you could not come forward and defend it. So in this case, what do you expect the lawyer to do? So for the year 2026, I beg, if you are going to see your lawyers, your legal representatives, you have to make sure that it's your responsibility to provide genuine documents. So when there is an issue such as this, the lawyer can go forward and fight for you. But if you don't supply genuine documents and there is an issue and you try to blame the lawyer, you are wasting your time. The lawyer will defend himself. It's as simple as that. That is the reason why, Justice and Law Solicitors, we always encourage our clients to provide genuine documents. And we always ask them, where did you get this document from? It's not that we are acting as if we are the Home Office. Our reputation is also on the line. And therefore, we need to make sure that when we are submitting any documents, when there is an issue with it, we can fight it. Do you know the number of cases that have come before us, Justice and Law Solicitors, that we have fought against Home Office assertion that documents are fake? As I speak to you, I have one right in front of me today that I'm going to work on. This is about a bank statement. I have asked the person over and over and over, are you sure this is a genuine bank statement? He said, lawyer, yes. Are you sure this is a genuine bank statement? Lawyer, yes. Home Office are claiming that it's fake. He is saying it's a genuine. I'm in the middle. What do? I can only go by what my client is telling me. And I'm going to fight this case tooth and nail to make sure that I succeed, to make sure that I get it for him, to make sure that he's all right. That is what I'm going to do. And I believe that. I believe what he's saying. And I believe the Home Office will back off. So sometimes, when you are holding the right documentation, don't fear no allegation and accusation. Because at the end of the day, if God is with us, who can be against us? Victory coming your way. Secondly, English test. Now, as we all know, especially the work permit route. The English test is moving on to B1. That means in order to be able to come to the United Kingdom from the 8th of January 2026 of the year of our Lord, you must be able to prove that you understand and can speak English to the approved standard. In fact, it's B2 level English that you will need to, instead of the B1, I apologize. So B2 English, which is more like a university English. There was also a saying that in terms of the spousal visas, they may increase it to B1. That has not happened yet. So we wait to see what is going to happen. Then we will take it from there. Also, settled status. Last week, we spoke about something called the end settlement model, where the Secretary of State was thinking of increasing the time limit to get your indefinite to 10 and 20 years. And this will be determined by your employment status and income, your contribution to society, and your character as to whether the 10 years will have to be reduced to 3 years, 5 years, or the 10 years. If you did not listen to the show last week, you can go and play it, because I went into detail. Because of time factor, I will not go into it. I also basically sent the link of the consultation, what you can do, what you can say in relation to the consultation on end citizenship. Whilst we are online, I was able to complete mine. And as a result, I hope what I wrote, they will take it into consideration. You can also do the same by going to the Home Office website, or you can simply Google and citizenship consultation. It will take you to the Home Office website, and you can then go and do what you have to do. So that is what I will say in terms of immigration and nationality. Justice and law solicitors, we are working on so many things to help Ghanaians, and at the appropriate time, in conjunction with my colleague in Ghana, I know, inshallah, we are working on things to bring you the best, both in Ghana and also in the UK. Any legal challenges, any legal advice that you may need in terms of Ghanaian law and also UK law. So at the appropriate time, I will let you know the developments. So by all means, if you have any legal issue in Ghana, don't worry. Very soon, we will be sorting you out. And if you have any legal issue in the UK, we will also sort you out. Allah walai. So by all means, watch the space. Like I say, we don't come to bow. We come to conquer. And the tougher the battle, the sweeter the victory. So by all means, someone called me and said, well, these high profile cases, how come that lawyer Dakon, you were not involved, you didn't get involved? What I said to the person was that life, everything is time. I was not meant to be involved, but it has inspired me. You know, it has given me a lot of inspiration. And I know that people in the diaspora, sometimes you are getting the rough deal, especially when you are not in Ghana. People will just take their liberties out of you. But Justice and Law Solicitors, very soon, we are putting things in place that we're going to make sure that those in diaspora, your back is covered 100%. The criminality that goes on, the fraud that goes on, we will put an end to that through the operation of the law. We will make sure that those in the diaspora, your back is covered 100%. And everything that you do, both in the United Kingdom and in Ghana, we will give you the best to make sure that your back is protected. Your hard-earned cash, no one chocolate it rough and get away scot-free. So that is all that we can say to that. Let me just take this song. When we come back, we continue with the employment law update. Whilst we are going to take this tune, I will also suggest that maybe you share the program. Let's drink some water. When we come back, 2026. Anything that has gone wrong is going to turn.
I done it best. We are
meka ye ho agensilo. The insiro Employment Rights Act of 2025, the biggest shake-up to the employment law in the United Kingdom in a generation. If you just tune in, I will encourage you to share the program for us, because if you live in the United Kingdom, whether we like it or not, I believe that most of us work, and therefore these changes are going to affect us directly or indirectly. So by all means, I think we all have to try and pay attention as much as we can. This is the summary of the Employment Rights Act of 2025. And these are the changes that we should expect. From 1st of January 2027, the qualifying period for unfair dismissal will be reduced from 2 years to 6 months. Someone is watching me and the person is saying, what are you talking about? Yes, because at the moment, as the law stands, if you are working for someone for less than 2 years, you cannot bring a claim against the individual for unfair dismissal. When we say unfair dismissal, what do we mean by that? It means that you have employment contract, you are an employee. You have been employed by someone to work, and the person has dismissed you without justification. And when I say justification, legal justification. So for example, you are working for me and say, for whatever reason, I have taken a dislike to you. Not because of the work that you are not doing well or you are not performing, but the fact that I don't like you, I have decided to terminate your employment contract. When it happens like that, you as the employee could bring a claim against me for unfair dismissal. Unfair dismissal can also mean constructive dismissal, where you put someone's neck on the chopping board and you are expecting the person to fumble one way or the other, so that you can just by justification dismiss the person. Then under those circumstances, one could also argue that it becomes unfair dismissal if you decide to leave your workplace by yourself, and you say, because of the way you are treating me, I can no longer work for you. That may amount to constructive dismissal, in which you could also bring a claim. At the moment, the Conservative government came to power 2010, and they made some changes where it used to be 1 year, where it was increased to 2 years, and therefore that made it very, very difficult for people to take on bogus employers. And as a result, basically, I've seen cases where individuals were employed for 1 year, 11 months, and basically they got rid of them. They couldn't bring a claim because they've been working for them for less than 2 years, which was unfair. And for me, from the employer's point of view, this is a major change, and it's a good change. So from 1st of January, exactly a year, say 3 days ago, you could bring a claim, or 2 days ago, you can now bring a claim next year, 1st of January, if you've been working for someone for 6 months or more, and the person tried to trample on your right. Under those circumstances, you could bring a claim. Another good news, as it stands now, when you need to bring a claim to the employment tribunal, at the moment it's 3 months plus less 1 day. 3 months less 1 day. And I'm going to share this with you. The 3 months start from the date of the dismissal, and therefore you take 1 day from it. So if, for example, I've been dismissed from my work 3rd of January 2026, 3 months less 1 day, so I will calculate it till 2nd of April. So that means I must lodge my ET1 at the Employment Tribunal by 2nd of April. This is 3 months, because January, we're going to February, that is 1 month. February to March, 2 months. March to April, 3 months. So if you're looking at the 3 months, you will say that since today is the 3rd of April will be 3 months. No, you make a mistake. That is the reason why we say 3 months less 1 day. So you take 1 from the 3 months. So if you are calculating from today, 3 months will be 3rd of April minus 1 day. That will bring us to 2nd of April. And then you take it from there, if you know what I mean. Okay, so that is that. The tribunal says that from October 2026, the 3 months is going to be extended to 6 months from October 2026 of the year of our Lord. So that means if employers sack you, or if you dismiss yourself by way of constructive dismissal from October, the date it's yet to be published, then that means you could basically bring a claim within 6 months as opposed to 3 months. Some will say that the extension will add more value to the cases that is in court. I don't think people are suing enough, so it's a good thing. We will take it like that. Fire and rehire. What some people were doing was that they will hire you once they get used. I mean, they just mess you up and they will just fire you. Simple. You know, so that is how it is. They will simply fire you and hire you at any time. So that is what we need to also be aware of. Now, from October 2026, dismissals used to impose changes to key contractual terms, such as pay, hours, pension, and benefits, will be deemed to be automatically unfair, except in a narrow defined cases of genuine financial necessity. So if you dismiss someone, basically on the basis of their pay, hours, pension, and benefits, you are looking for trouble. Unless it can be justified for financial necessity. So the business is collapsing, the business is dying. If you don't take this drastic action, then the business will collapse and everyone is going to lose their jobs. However, if taking that action means that you are going to save some jobs, then of course it's financial necessity and therefore it could be justified in law. 0-hour contract and predictability of rights. Workers on a 0 hours or low guaranteed hours contracts, including agency workers, will gain rights to guaranteed hours, reflecting regular working patterns, a reasonable shift notice, and compensation for cancelled shifts. These reforms are expected to take effect in 2027. There has been a lot of speculation and a lot of complaint about agency workers being assigned to a task. Sometimes they drive just when they are about to start the shift. They get a phone call. Your shift is cancelled. Sometimes people travel from life end to grave end to perform a chore, to perform a duty. And then while they are living, they have the life in them. As soon as they get to the end, which is the grave end, the business or the contract gets cancelled. They don't get paid and they have to come back home for nothing. Why does this happen? I mean, I don't know, but such is life. Life is one big road, you know, and it's full of signs. Like they say, when you hit the rut, don't complicate your mind. And these things do happen. And why does it happen? From the employer's point of view, from the agency's point of view, they have to save money. And if a company is giving the agency a contract for a duty to be performed, and the company calls the agency and cancels the contract, what do you expect the agency to do? The agency cannot double shift the work, and the agency cannot simply let you go and do a work that has been cancelled. However, I believe that there have to be a cancellation fee, which the agency perhaps are taking from people that they source the jobs from. So if that is the case, why is it that you are not giving the worker their tip or their side of the bargain? At least if you're not going to give them the full contracted hours, at least you have to give them a cancellation fee. But at the moment, agency workers are getting a raw deal. They are not getting nothing. They just get a phone call and say that, look, your shift has been cancelled. Just like that. People are suffering in the diaspora. People are suffering in Babylon. And sometimes people don't understand that Babylon is full of concrete jungle. Yeah. When you see the concrete jungles, you think, oh, this is beautiful. It's nothing but hell. It's hot. Yeah. That is concrete jungle. Believe in me. Sometimes, you know, people are in this country, in Europe and other Western countries. It's not life. It's about survival. We don't have life in Europe. We don't have life in Americas. It's about survival. One have to survive. And therefore, you cannot just turn back and go home. According to Munsem, you can't do winning. It's not easy at all. The hardships, the struggles, the manipulations, the advantages that people take of people, sometimes it's unbearable. But who are you going to tell? You have no mother, you have no father to cry to. You have to just dust yourself off and just keep walking. With the hope that one day, the heavens will open for you. Imagine that you have been called 6 o'clock in the morning. That, hey, David, I've got a shift for you. You are starting 9 o'clock. You drop everything that you are doing. You rush, get a bus, and get to the destination just to get a phone call and say, look, David, your shift is cancelled. You see something? Not only that, I'm having to waste my time, rush, bath, spend transportation, money on transport to get to the destination, to be told that the shift is cancelled and I'm not getting anything in return. How fair is that? That is Babylon system. Hear me. That is Babylon system. You don't have a mother to cry to. You don't have a brother to cry to. You don't have a sister to cry to. You've made no money, but you have lost money. That is Babylon. That is capitalist system. It will crush you and squeeze every juice or penny out of you. Now, the government have sat down and said, no, this is not right. The abuse is too much. Something needs to be done. And it's a welcoming proposal that we are hoping that this come into fruition. Family leave and enhanced dismissal protections. Day 1, paternity unpaid paternal leave from April 2026. So basically, from April 2026 this year, Day 1 unpaid bereavement leave and extended pregnancy, family leave, dismissal protections up to 18 months post birth or 6 months post return from 2027. So basically, these reforms are there to protect workers, and therefore paternity leave from day 1, as soon as you start, you are protected. If I start a work for, say, Justice and Law Solicitors today, and I give birth, or my wife, my partner give birth, I am entitled to paternity leave. You don't tell me that I have to work for 6 months, 3 months, 9 months, 10 months in order to be able to have that right. From day 1, boom, it starts. Bereavement leave from day 1, it starts. All these are going to be protected. Sexual harassment protection. From October 2026, employers must take all reasonable steps to prevent sexual harassment and will be liable for a third-party harassment unless adequate measures have been taken. So, for example, if I'm working for a big organization and I am making untoward gesture towards a lady, a woman, and basically it doesn't happen, and I keep pushing, she reports it to my employer. Oh, it's just a workplace banter. You, the employer, if you don't take the necessary action, you become part of the deal, and therefore you can find yourself in a mess. So if you're running a business, your workers like flirting with customers, warn them, because they will come back and accuse you for not doing anything. Because some people, they invite unnecessary attention, and then when it gets crazy and it gets heavy, then they start crying. They think that something should be basically the whole world should bend over backwards for them. It does not happen like that. It should not happen like that, and ought not to happen like that. If you invite trouble, be prepared. You don't invite trouble and cry wolf as if you are innocent, as if it was a mistake, as if it was an accident. You invited the trouble, and then when it hits you, deal with the consequences. And don't expect anyone to feel sorry for you. So if you know that you are one of those people who invite troubles, you, the employer, you are better off sacking the individual. Because when something goes wrong, he's going to blame you for not giving them protection. So this is how it is. So as an employer too, you are supposed to take reasonable steps to make sure that your workers do not become a victim of harassment. Trade unions and industrial action. The government says there will be a simplified recognition and electronic balloting from April 2026. Collective redundancy consultation. The maximum protective award for failure to consult collectively will double from 90 to 80 days. 90 to 180 days pay from April 2026. So if an employer is going to sack you on the basis of redundancy and they did not give you the notice, or collectively they did not consult, then of course this is going to lead to the double pay, if you like. But the consultation period is now going to be doubled from 90 days to 180 days. Enforcement. A new Fair Work agency will be launched in April 2026 strengthening enforcement of employment rights, including statutory sick pay, holiday pay, and national minimum wage. So basically, these are the summary of the changes that are coming up that you need to know. Also, statutory sick pay. Statutory sick pay will rise from 125 to 129. 125 to 129, so this is something that you ought to know. So in fact, the key for this is the 6 months period to bring a claim, harassment, fire and rehire, and also the 0-hour contract, flexible working, unfair dismissal, and unlimited compensation. This is something that I think we all have to be aware of. And from October, 6 months to bring a claim, which for me is a major change and a major key. Now, 1 o'clock sharp, I will bring the program to an end. I will encourage you, if you have any question, to call you now, because you have only 10 minutes, I beg. I'm still in a holiday mood. You see, Monday is around the corner, so I'm not happy at all. But for the first time in about 20 years, I could say that I have had a fantastic Christmas holiday, and I've also taken a lot of rest. So those people who tried to contact me and they couldn't get me, I was recharging my battery. I am going to run like a fugitive. From Monday, we put the gear to 6. So by all means, if you have any issues, call the office on Monday and we'll be happy to serve you. As long as we continue to live, service is our destiny. Service is one of the ways that we can also show appreciation to everything that you do. So by all means, if you wanna, if you wanna call us, you can call us. And if you have any question too, you can do what? You can call in the question. You can also call us on Facebook. The number, let me just put the number up straight up before we start taking phone line, before we start taking phone calls. Okay, so the number once again is 07538 969 589. If you want to call from Facebook, by all means, you can call us on Facebook. If you're on WhatsApp, that you also want to come on the show, send the invitation, and we'll be happy to do that for you.
Hello, lawyer.
Hello, good afternoon to you. Patrol didn't say I can say friend.
Lawyer, good afternoon. I say.
Just say Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Now, and every year.
Oh, I had a book on Mr. My friend office concerning 1 or 2 things, but number saying the person has seen that will clarify Emma Metty.
Okay, no problem.
Say, we involve MP. We involve MP. Our application delay. That's it. it takes some time na want to share I say be a unya to share advice was so so I contact MP Bium maybe I was go back to home office with your complaint and I say any advice about
this is how we look at it. It does not do any damage for the MP for the MP to contact the Home Office again. Normally what happened, they say MP for getting involved. I am Home Office for the ferry ekeka omo kakra. And the first instant, you know, on the catch ebia MP ne say oh omo edi egu so. And see more time. And you know, I would say after 2-3 months, now still nothing has happened. I think it will make sense to get the MP involved again. Because when the MP write to the Home Officer, an indirect form of complaint. Because before say MP Betron, MP ebe says case no. Now when who say delay no, is it reasonable? Say a reasonable, I can't just say nyanto boasi answer. So if he say a unreasonable, Obeka just say no, I write to them again. And the MPs now sometimes they get shocked or say until whom you mature 3 months ago, no still move for decision in my why? And the Ebanesana the MP no it me a play very important role whereby you know Home Office may also maybe you know push the case. Alternative which I don't like is a formal complaint. Personally, I try to avoid it, but when it's getting to a situation that is becoming a bit too much, the people don't have a choice but to complain. I've had cases whereby unfortunately we had to go through the complaint route. Complain, you know, they came back to say, oh, the complaint is not upheld. They are still looking into it. The next day, decision, many panel. Nobody wants to accept blame. You see, this is where the problem is, a human nature. But by all means, when it's getting too much, I think complaint will be the last resort. Before
complaint say like maintain and say complaint.
Okay, complain a lawyer need be a complaint on your behalf.
Okay.
Like I said, they say personally, I try to avoid complaints.
Yeah.
But when you don't have any choice, I say drag it on too much. You don't have any other choice. And in the past, I've done it for people, even though Home Office came back talking big about you just have to wait, you just have to wait. As soon as I got that email, the next day I got a decision.
Okay, so the complaint will go through the Home Office and I say
it will go through the Home Office. So there's nothing wrong. I say MP pushy, not complain because they have different departments, you see. They have the MP's department. No. Almost set a specific team dealing with only MP's inquiries. And then they have a complaints team that handles only complaints. And then they have the case working team that only deal with the case working. But sometimes when it becomes a bit too much, and that's a delay, you know, it becomes too unreasonable. Then you start firing from all angles. And for me,
but not me only say be a way about MP. I say like we say be a when she crantina or makoye some
wrong decision. Yeah. Sometimes so human nature you cannot rule that out because if you are to one now say oh I say okay immediately so oh that kind of style it's me banisa but at the same time so Sadiane show come name me too much. What do you do?
Okay.
You see the point? And you do baby. Me say Home Office say we aim to make decisions within 6 to 12 months in worst case scenario. Recently, update on records and they say some of the applications committee they will make a decision whenever they can. Fair enough. But at the end of the day, because it's here now, baby, so it make no sense to me. You know, and you know, it's difficult. But once again, sometimes you have to be bold and hold the bullet, you know, hold it by the horn. Because for me, if you do an application and 6 months to a year and 1 year party, me feel says, oh, come as much will be I say, me case could do 1 year and you maintain or monka. That's a we get complainer, will be a better was. This is my view. Because Benyanto was here. Normally, you make a decision within 6 months. And a mama saba say between 6 months to 1 year. That's a 1 year sab baby ma. That's a still who make a decision. At that point today, I think sir, I have every right to be a bit aggressive.
Okay. Yeah. It is saying where maybe I off through MP no so for second time advisable and I say
advisable. Because when someone will say you're giving someone a notch, but not the elbow. So what they pray the be say, oh massa, do something. But when it's not happening, then the elbow goes in. You know, so it's still a good idea, definitely.
Okay,
that's fine. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Bye. Hello, Chrissy.
No. Hey.
Edina also.
Na me pamucho. Lawyer no pay me for when to me and fast. Lawyer ba life. Update for be aba me pamucho mo ba no moya amayen. Wa pese o gift lawyer bia no. O me a gift box no so a wo ho. O be hu hat me. O me a hat me ne so a. No akọ exclusive. O kwa exclusive a. O be wo baby a trop popular. O me no so bebre a. Me patro one way 20 doesn't cost much. If I'm trying to need you. Oh, me and so bebre. I didn't conform bebre. I buy a program issue because I am not program. They have friends. Now, a lot of people tonight. Oh, dear, buy a pamucho. Yeah, that was say. Now, lawyer, me patro. My question is, so be naturalization. Never been a pan of being here.
A bit depending a quankra only across a fast or J indefinite, you know.
So the 10 years route, no
10 years route, and the key a bear life in the UK test, you know, any English test certificate, you know, which I suspect is a Nipano Ewoda. And you know, do be here being a bear the man of birth certificate or no, and then a money passport just to show, say, the person has got links and children in the United Kingdom who are British nationals. Yes, the account. Any evidence that says any Panatina Kruma for 5 years. So every year they are at least one document to represent that year a fine. A P60 for 2021, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. A bank statement. You can mix it up just to show, say, you know, it's not necessary because we will pay it in a bank statement and any P60 now cover that. But only sad and so we a letter from a Jumum. A letter and say you've been working with them from 2020 to present. That means a cover 5 years meaning sa letter back on.
Okay.
And it's
now obi will start question this is there any changes for landlord and renter now?
There has been some changes in terms of landlord and tenants. I'm saying I covered this in the past. On top of my head, I mean the key change landlord and tenant is they are making it a bit more easier for landlords to be able to evict people through the court proceedings. And if you like, next week I can come back and talk about it more. Some of the advantages and also maybe the disadvantages within the law that is coming up. But in short, it's going to be easy for a landlord to evict people once they grant them tenancy, which some people believe that is not a good thing. But from the landlord's point of view, it's a good thing. Once again, some landlords are also complaining that some of the policies that are coming up is not in their favor. On top of my head, I cannot say too much, but if you give me next week, I will come back and give you very detailed analysis of the landlord and tenant laws, so that people can also be aware of their rights in this particular field.
Okay, Daniel Nebusai. Uncle, maybe I share entry was here or entry trend or say picking on the patrol and picking the money.
And then also the invitation be one yeah, also the invitation be with me a picking. First name near St. Patrol.
Entry.
Entry in Kwane also.
Entry trend.
Okay.
Me patrol no meeting with Papa. Mom patrol meeting for now. Why no?
Baby, me who understand.
Entry patrol who so. Yes, I go back and come back again. They request and never any more wine patrol Papa.
Nenye easy, mama. Why? Na me am aswan show ya.
Mom patrol kasawa.
If you go so ne doso. More. Okay.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon to you.
What am I trying to say?
Nyame Adam Boko Sawo.
Good. And so, who picture those today?
May say, can you try me?
My union definitely know, but I'm sorry, I can't say the documents near the other home. Baby, I send me the corner.
Okay, so your application na say no impose to encobim. Your application you have to upload it. Your application na edobeko another website. It's called TLS Contact.
Okay.
Oko website on then you have to sign up in their website. Once you sign up now, then you can upload all your documents and book appointment for fingerprint. And to your fingerprint we are an almost application.
So I don't have to book the appointment and then take all the documents, but let me upload the and sign up fingerprints.
So Udru Honmona, they give you the option. Se oko se omo upload ma on be charge you.
Okay.
On be charge you ska. Then they will upload it for you. So what person will upload it so one can submit me upload it for free before the fingerprint, Because once you do your fingerprint, they will block you from uploading anything. And it's important to say your fingerprint now. Or before so be fingerprint no uploading.
So what's the best thing to do? Wow, did be able to no more upload them and I say wow be na what your fingerprint no.
Upload where you are taking a risk in the sense to say maybe out the bank statement account not by mistake one scanner. As far as the Home Office is concerned, when I want farmer, not ABR quite affected. Me personally make us a wire idea no. Now for when you say idea na echo, then who say why you free, rather than say leaving it in someone's hand. Better still, go and get a professional person to do it for you, so that he will take the headache, so that you have your peace of mind.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Yes, Facebook for them. Somebody me a friend number no 07538.
Trend busu
Trend.
Trend 11. What do you want to no picky baby? Oh, no, Sabos.
Yeah, picking quite. Okay.
If Home Office says your case is
I feel I pick your own. You're trending quite. Trend?
Sister Christmas, that's you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Thank you. Master man bisane say, me ma me visiting visa, ma refuse na. Nipa no ye na say obetimi a judicial review. Maybe Tim, no, me was a cancel, no, and for France, have one, and besides, with the island, have one.
Personally, judicial review, you know, say we need time. There is no point. It's me quite that 2 years now until Wonka. Ebi any panso so no pese oba besra wo ene ni akire ya. And he says, Akwadem na say cha, yes, we bet me already but personally, say why you gonna say we need timer. Don't go and do judicial review because a waste of time. And any pana wo ya ma no, on fan cho free. Obesa charge you. And then I won't first can new application. Now problems are a old one no. Oba addresses our problems in now hopefully no. Wait me I'll resolve. Rather than
my buyer they said almost need home ties
and you know home ties say strong no then also busa ho say e dey na eso ye e ma the home ties say strong say ka say home ties are e dey bad ye Bacho, is that a home ties? I wouldn't know the crow.
Ladies, no, Miss Old, you want to make a lawyer and tell you, Pacho.
I say more.
Lawyer, Miss No, please mute yourself. Why? Ladies, no. Pacho, mute too. Why?
Aye. Ladies know why me disconnect no.
Me that's lawyer.
And you know. There be home ties no chere say. Mami ni bibia.
My friend to be friend no see am eti omon kanti no.
Me pa cho jina so why why. Obi o phone so. Home ties no. Hey, asim kra be ni. Home ties no chere say. E die na e betwe maame no asaba back to Ghana. Se man visa na. Se man visa na. Se ombre UK a. E die na bembe ye na what do we call it? Motivation. E die na e be encourage na asama na back.
Okay.
Enti home ties na e die na.
Hello.
Pacho obu of university gina so man why.
Okay.
Se ka se home ties a ye na esua de kakra. Se me yoba number 7 best me ba wo UK. Na so si mini home ties, mini bibia ebeye pull factor for me to go back. E dia ba de na sebe besa me ba wo ha. E besa mama sa go back to fie. Me madwiri mu no, me ka bi a kire wo. Madwiri mu no. Se o maami ego kunu a. Ne marriage certificate. Any ni kunu letter obechiro. Or they can one. Okay, into a death certificate. Okay, Nikunu, that is one. Or ma, and maybe or that's all Ghana. Into a birth certificate because our family life of them, our grandchildren. Or when you bet me introduce one, or yeah, Juma. Juma, you bet me the account home. Or quite sorry. Or bet me the account home. Or group be more sorry on they say women's fellowship or your friend is a Sunday school teacher in the church. Nina it's mutual account. Your friend is saying or dine or car or fear. Some people singing I saw the count to show say or when he be or pull factor or any sort of dear when he fee. And yes, I brought you about better and one answer or better for what? Our brother will be BBD, or only BBA, or family ties, or family life, or friends. Or a part of organization, part of association. Nina, what they come here, a boy. Nancy, I'm your application. And to be honest with you, the application couldn't fit in Famano. So, many cases where can a cranky in Famano. Because the nipa no want to show say obeko back and say na o fie 5. Tini fie 5 people ni nyina ane de kan ho. Any ne bank statement. The bank statement no e adwuma bank statement e say ne personal bank statement. Sika e kom e ba bia ye henyan. Me hu ade me say ade we die because omo pe evidence e kire say adwuma wo ye ne sika wo die ne say na spend wo sika but also so no and one your business and one your personal and everything sikano yet be got 10,000 50,000 not 20,000 free just a basa make sure basa I will do my best but wait dear my instinct tell me say yem farmer or say lawyer I don't care yem fanko maybe ko tun 1 week kura mane dia ma no enye one but I explain I said this is the nature of his business. This is how he ran his business. And he trade as a self-employed. And therefore, the self-employed no, we will use normal account. Yes, sir. And you know, basically, sana etie. And you know, meka se pebibi a say all ties to Ghana. Photographs on microphone take you know ni na utimi e dey count. Why? Thank you very much. No problem at all. Okay.
It's okay, mommy. Send me okay now so uncle no be busa question, but let me see if I can find it.
Pacho, my name Papa Payna, hello, 740. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. Pacho, you're from Richard. Now, me how can say, me the a year health and care by a year 6145. And Kamenya new one, me current one or a baby year in just this month here, and I mean for I don't know. A child care practitioner, that's 3232. Now, you may choose a me application and make who say, I say the new 2025 rules, no HSA, and no, to me for dependent income, but already not can be dependent, and many know what has since 2023. Think I make a little clarification on that.
I know that I don't have the answer at the moment.
Okay.
Send me a text message to this phone, and I can go through the guidelines for you, and I'll be able to give you an answer. Care work, you know, there's been so many changes. I know you are fire me so cry. Man can't show what. Na me boy. Why? And you know, okay, just drop me a text message. Yeah. Okay, but that's it for you. Thank you for your understanding. Okay, Yanko, Papa Kofi. Major was so Papa Kofi. Yanko Pon Adam, me hoye pa.
Lawyer means some quick answers be under the EU Act, you know, my hour, my ABB, whatever it is, my IR, but I want to do a divorce, and I may be some process no to say.
Okay, and you know, process now very simple. We a customary marriage and as a civil marriage from the first place.
No, me a customary marriage. But,
okay, customary marriage back home. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
You have a choice. I will say the two, and then say my opinion. Which one will be best for you?
Okay.
So we a customary marriage. Ghana Mrano. Actually, say we a customary divorce. No problem about that. However, say when your customary divorce certificate, now say in future person the warrior won't have any problems because Home Office and I say UK say on foreign divorce certificate at tuma. Just a parties ne prove say at the time of divorce now it was our country divorce they take place before say a divorce and if for example Ukoye Ghana customary divorce and then a second divorce certificate in the 3rd of January 2026. So ukoye application biambo before fro or share about for bina o worry no. Now person don't paper ne cover na. Emranisi UK for automatically end due divorce into. Just a word prove say from 3rd of January 2025 up to 3rd of January 2026. Who anyway you with divorce na Ghana honomo, which is not the case in this case. And when it comes to recognition in future, you may have problems. However, say we divorce you and your home because you do it by way of court proceedings. And divorce, it can take between 6 to 8 months to come to an end. emuche ana ekasusu and that is the only disadvantage. But in future no say wasum bejo say ode kwakwaya de na wunsuro akire no ene it's best to say obey no kromu. To do a divorce no, you need to show say your marriage has broken down beyond repairs and that you and your former wife or your wife are no longer living together in the same household, and therefore you will petition the court by way of completing divorce petition. It goes to the court. The court will go through the divorce petition to make sure that all the necessary part has been completed. If they are satisfied, then they will stamp it and issue proceedings on your wife. Once your wife gets it, your wife will then respond, will ask you whether he's going to fight it or not. If your wife doesn't fight it, then the court will tell you. Then you have to wait for about 24 weeks to make an application for decree nisi. These days we call it conditional order. Once the conditional order is granted, you don't have to physically go to court if the other party is not going to fight the case. And then from there on, the court will give you decree nisi, and you wait for 6 weeks plus 1 day, and you apply for decree absolute. These days we call it final certificate. That brings the marriage to an end. And in all, you are looking at 6 to 8 weeks to complete the process.
Oh, okay. Then which means it's in 2 weeks. Make permission, so and I said not to create any problem or anomalies in the future. Then which means I have to go through like HOMA process. You know, saying who explain how the way nice idea. Then I have to go that. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's it. My second issue, you know, has to do with Minya ILR before me back first before Minya ILR. In this situation, you know, say me kase me British passport, do I need to do a naturalization with the Home Office first before I can do an application for the British passport? Or after the IRR, can I do an application for a British book for mine?
Okay, so basically, say Obano, unfortunately, Owono, and sen ababenya ILR no. So that means that Obano is British. For your child to become British, you have to register the child by way of registration. So what you are creating registration, you are paying for naturalization. And the British Nationality Act, I think section 1(3), if you obtain indefinite after a child is born, you can register the child to become British. So that is the way for the child. Any subsequent child that you have, so after you have obtained your ILR, are currently a British by birth and the British Nationality Act. So that clears the chapter. In terms of yourself, unya ILR, now you have to wait for 12 months before you apply for British citizenship. I hope that my answer question.
Yeah, one some question. In that situation, I wanted to find out registering that Poland is he doing just normal registration with the borough, and I said registration the one I'm talking about with the Home Office. With the Home Office,
you have to complete application forms with the Home Office. The child have to go and do fingerprint. You need to upload all the supporting documents, and then the child will then be issued with certificate of registration. Once the child got the registration certificate, he can then apply for British passport. So it's got nothing to do with the local authority.
Okay.
No problem. Hello, the phone is on Hello,
good afternoon, Lawyer.
Hi, good afternoon.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Patrol. One at a time, why Timon was very Mr. Frimpong, sir.
Okay. Lawyer, when the old chance me more be say about I'm super say maybe say about divorce, no? Say I pass it through the process our Ghana. Now our courts and your custom normal one our courts. Now divorce now go through. Still no benya issues. So year application and as a baby sir.
I know the only issues be you feel be recognition of foreign divorces. And I will employ anyone to read section 46 of the Family Law Act of 1986, and it sets out conditions that must be met before they will accept foreign divorces and foreign marriages. So what they say is that under section 46(1), if the divorce goes through a court proceedings in another country, it is automatically acceptable in the UK. If it does not go through court proceedings, then the following conditions must be met. and then they set it out. Why?
Okay, Mada. But my question is on the second one. Say, person application madam for the year and anema. Now, person maybe say, oh yeah, application na forms no. Obefili separate one among Kalana Kahuna sending in a one application.
More here.
Ghana.
Over 2 separate applications. Say, failure, my many DNA Appendix FM application, partner, and then children one will be Appendix FM application, children or child.
Okay.
2 separate application forms. Each child separate.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's.
My main application will be answer Woma, or say Annie, or the same, what you're doing, or no one ever, or say Annie. When you're in the action, you have to go and fill separate applications. So, why you're not going to say, or the Indian forms to this in tea now, you're going to see that home one, and you would grow.
Okay. And now, say in case you say, and Qualania 4, but application or year for in Qualet 2 until Obeka say be on Qualet 2, no, I separate 2 application. I'm in Qualana.
You wish I saw my essay. Me my year 4.
Okay.
One and neighbor, me no could you my neighbor. That's it.
Okay. Okay.
Why?
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
A lawyer patrol, do I
Hey, or two.
hold on, me.
Hello.
Applications they be complicated. I have only say simple, but very complicated. Into lawyer na peace of mind. Why, Papa?
Only the means to baby fee.
And then the patrol money makasana in it into fee.
That's right.
Oh, and some patrol makasana. Obi obusa question the dada. My main family lawyer no answer mano. Lawyer obi say. I say, what does it mean if Home Office says your case is under active consideration?
Just something to calm you down. I say, okay, someone rain feel. They will make a decision in due course. Because sometimes when the Home Office or the application require, they have something called service standard. Or make us say this application normally they be take you 4 weeks, it be take you 5 weeks, it be take you 6 weeks. But being human beings and sometimes logistics doesn't work according to plan. No? That means a name delay kakra. A banisana as a courtesy, no one send you a letter no, just to calm you down, say you rain feel. Name ye share it as so action with case anymore. And into intinyan to was here my son of more patch. 742, hello.
Hello.
Hi, good afternoon. Pacho did send a cassette for you.
Pacho, any for see because of London.
Any for see from London, the uncle.
Pacho, let me be your official pencil.
I think Cobesayo.
That how you my community. Pacho, my question is my English test no 2023. I feel na maybe my national editions. Number better say just so here Juma and I expire.
Okay. I'm read that one. They say, so what you use English test, in a previous successful application, dear, ubet me as say you should be. And to the question, basically, I say, oh, kakoji indefinite, Oh, the English test in a koji indefinite, nana. And in that case, that's why you're from a cream, I spy.
Jesus Christ.
And yes, she's English testing the naturalization in anything. Life in the UK.
Book appointment on the 8th.
And yes, you are still, bra.
That's okay.
Because over we are English test. You do baby, I say, where is your English test certificate? Number, Mrs. Certificate is enclosed. You call your ban, I can say, let me assume. Why?
But when I'm part of another question, I'm just saying, me ban so I with honestly one indefinite for 5 years. The paternity two applications at the same time. I said, me as my energy.
There be a boom, and no kind of money easy moment, money, the moment, why? No problem, why? I do have one for you now, say, Chow.
Yeah, no,
I've attacked you, brother. Okay. Mami moderator, okay. Yes. Mami, Nana my word. Hello.
Hello, Dr. Dakwa Fishapa.
Afe enko ne mesanye ho afe sese bra na Nyankopon ahira ye ne aye nhira.
Amen. Lawyer Passion me question is say, who person audio be figure about graduation like me mama. What is the process? And I never be na here.
I would suggest to say, if possible, get a letter from the school confirming
I've gotten the letter from the school.
Fantastic. 2, and then I just saw your mommy. Or birth certificate.
The birth certificate.
Or birth certificate, was it issued within 12 months of your birth?
Okay.
If it is not, I would suggest a DNA count. Yes, I will use that as an excuse.
Okay.
Evidence of communication between your mother, money transfers, pictures that you have taken from childhood up to present. Oba baby or better. Why did they take it, you know? Eduane obedi. Ana mama na so circumstances in Ghana. Obi bu say ani e kan tie to Ghana or ma wa Ghana. Shop. It's a shop no or register account or until them no income pictures. Invoices, receipts, bank statements.
Okay.
Ajapadi bi obi a no fan ka ho to show say Obo besako o kunu so a marriage certificate on fan ka ho.
Okay.
Na ni kunu intro letter so money permission say o man the money graduation.
Okay.
Ni nyina aboa enya so na ka say you don't have enough ties near the refusal.
Oh, okay. Now I show sika hin na so accounting.
Sika de emfa ho and na say wetumi show say sika na so be spend no you have it. So for example, on a spending and so now spending. And therefore, as a student, do you how much do you have in your account? So by so you plane ticket or baso SODD. And or for how long? All these are taken into account. So for example, so about for a month, they expect to say month year. So you trying to rent a man or own your bills. Okay, it's about £500. Are more than enough to spend for a month?
Okay. Oh, okay.
So these are the things that they look for. Why?
They look for. Yeah. And my second question. Passion will say, "Emphasis on more day a ye be bahano, COS no." And Nipano ejai like Nipana or ban or de money buying, beam or banning so pay divorce. In some my Ghana divorce no. And then Nipanesia, Bemanesia will be waha. And almost say for 1 year. Like a diamond koji only be money dinner was and no bet me I be wahana.
So omu already ya and yes I just so much enough for 2 years.
Oh, okay. It's a month now for 2 years. I'm betting ya nani pan or banning with a British because me de Nenkatana or any pan okumuha.
Yes, as an unmarried partner. But then again, since I would tell you why I think grow, we knew the basic within a year. And you know, so the far really the ever one. Not intent to was sorry so.
Okay. If I show you lawyer.
Okay, and that's it for you. Why?
That's if I show sister be I'm well done.
And back pass a bemo.
David, Obi Busawa someone answered your was zipping on as I'm on no. Don't have but what pigeon is that? Okay. Lawyer is zipping while so I requested sir. And a papa of him patrol, the lawyer did so sir. Why?
Okay, Zippy a far wine. It is Zippy which Nakasa. I said, I may have a TikTok champion.
Oh, David, before I Zippy, me patrol new to once or so over 2 hours of mammy. It's a patrol me to 1 minute or so for mammy, because I mammy. So for mammy, soon you are about it. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, so for mammy.
Me pancho me wo a problem kakra wa adwuma. Me make it am enkrata me dey adwuma, but me nipa na wa fam adwuma. I think say she's unfair to me because me pay breaker on mama and me living and I'm supposed to go to Ghana I think next week. But or say nya dey obema me relieve ama mako. Me to me so nja clients no ho enko. Annual leave the whole annual leave will 2 weeks. On better some keke na men ko baby ameko so or say debi. Mean to me so in clients no enko e be safeguarded. What do I do?
Okay, Cecilia, visa no is tied to your employment ana.
Debbie.
Okay. Oh, employment contract.
One mama contract. Maybe say one mama.
Okay. What you do is send an email to her and ask.
Send the email a mano. Ma sending the email, ma sending a WhatsApp. She's not responding to any of it.
Okay. Do you get pay slip?
Yeah.
And it shows to say you are getting paid. I mean, it's two ways. Ubetina contact us Monday. You better take instructions, your GNPN details, and we will write a letter to the person to put it right. If he doesn't, we can take him to employment tribunal. Because what he's doing now, boom raso. And as someone working, a bit might be the same thing. In the end, you know, or dragging the through the court, I feel the panel part. So in the end, the person settled. Sometimes they think it's a winning people, they can treat you anyhow. You see, maybe on not unimono, officer or when yet. Because when him saw when ye pa, do and going yet. Because it's against the law, basically. No reporting and no betrayal.
Also, for mommy, when the lawyer want ni deep breath pan no. Oh, who lawyer a email and a embassy no.
Get in touch. Why? I sort of simple.
I'll call you on Monday, lawyer.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, me Ghana call at time now, Benty. I don't know how.
Oh, the upper bra office. Me no me ni na be free ni pa no.
Daddy baby, lawyer baby, I mean why? Oh, mommy, cry my in my office because me living. I was over mommy relief. Oh, mommy, on your night is or bring me relief. Yeah, means Mr. Jack Knight.
Okay, company no me adwuma no. Is it regulated by CQC?
Yeah.
You can call them and lodge a complaint. Because what she's doing, you know, she's putting you at risk. She's also putting the person at risk. And to our friend, this is the way to do it. Friend Akachan say, what is going on here? No? One, it's against your employment rights. And two, it puts you and the patients into danger. Because you cannot work 24 hours without a break. All that is against health and safety. And to all manner, between now to maybe 12 o'clock. So when taking necessary action, you are going to call the CQC and lodge a complaint, a formal complaint. Because this is slavery. What he's doing is ridiculous.
Slavery.
You know,
slavery.
It's ridiculous. It shouldn't happen. It should not happen. Or from a man there, or you can do a three-way call. And I will explain to her or whoever it is that what she's doing is against the law. And if she does not remedy this with immediate effect, I'm giving him 24 hours, I will take on this case and it will not end well for him or her. It's very simple. Why? Okay. And two Francis of my boy, I know the meaning. Now, so for my many, I also know. That's what the new spirit now bomb pie and Yakubu Buno.
Never come up and no be follow lawyer. Me check here why won't follow ya yam pick you. It's me pam cho be follow. Moon follow why? Moon follow.
No problem. Young query. I'm see a time no I assume tia be any alcohol. Tia money tata wa more so.
But the answer is zippy now.
Aye, zippy uncle.
Lion Pacho official pa.
My fair uncle na emetuye na ensa your home.
Pacho, send our time no corner. I'll make it brief so that you can have time for other stuff. My question is mawo, but mawari ewo hase, and mawo many obiawo. I believe you get it.
Mama Tiasi, what are you query?
Inti nimpanos now on menene wo no. On also our just that they are in the process of divorce ewa hase. Me nkrata ni me bibia okay. I'm not depending on his documents or either way. Ye try say papana try akwala na papana try so be ya mano or wo you so but or woni we answer no onyan indefinite into try say nka or be EU application ni bia mano omo refuse no because refusal letter no omo say one name me as akwala na madme no into a month to for EU winning mano settlement ne mano. I just say a pioneer appeal. But to say an yampesi be EU na money be yapesi British book ne mano straight away. But because I say the reason that they used to deny her the EU settlement, no, will it come to play again? And I say, what do we have to do?
Okay.
Let me mention that I've been trying to reach you for the past 3 days. But
yeah, no holidays. So this year they are chilling
I thought as much.
Yeah, because for the past 20 years I've been working like crazy. This year quite a say there be. Yes, me am meeting me a feeling holiday na ankasa. The holiday we dey me feeling ankasa. Me phone na that off. To more fan check. More from na mo nyame because me to say yes my energize for the following year. With the full film and 6 gear they be share. And basically in your case, you know, so who indefinite and also get a British passport na so wo a British. And you know, one case status, you know, a day indicator was the same.
Maybe they pre-settled.
Pre-settled until 5 years. Okay.
5 years.
And a papa no so a grandpapa no.
A grandpapa no have when you're indefinite. Or will you only be answer when you're indefinite? And
therefore, papa bet me register no as a British citizen. And citizenship no a different from limited leave and indefinite leave no. A different department, different criteria. And you know, citizenship they say, Papa na say mama no, bako akwai, if I say indefinite after your birth. If the answer is yes, then that's it.
And you know, no mumbe bisa say, adena krane mama ye kunu na one wawo and I say, adena krane mama ye different from what you're into. They can just issue it.
A question marker on betini idea ebusa. Na worst case scenario, omeka sonko ye DNA, ye ngin this akrane over. Or ye DNA na say neba, Home Office doesn't have a choice. Na ebane sana, one kasano, 5 years ikitano, a true marriage, there will be a question mark. I say your relationship, no, and ye genuine, and I say and ye stable. And they could question you, and they may revoke your 5 years, no. However, since our boss is a British national, you can use the child to still get some sort of stay. And the alternative, they say, wait me, I'm from Alpha, so when you're indefinite, you are not go forward from that angle.
And see, it is a crown, the young status be a man for now.
I'll ubet me a train. When you're baby, see ya, nothing way you tea. Sana me was an come. Because I can't so on Russian co baby.
Okay.
Teaching your baby see answer. And you will anymore with the Vimino echo. Because I shall call Woswa. Now after contribution Semaba, which you will not be prepared. And in your case, no matter what happens, you will get one visa or the other. But who could this 10 year way so I can't know what will be pure feces, so could you not baniswa. Oh, and I pre-settlement say we are check rabbit 2 years ago, so I can indefinite.
Yeah, 2027.
And it's like a 1 year, 2020. Why?
But
all right.
Mate, thank you so much.
That's it. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Next week, we say share be a month for free power by a time and also I was a meko.
And I bet to say you need appointment in so Monday, but I bet to quiet you. Now I under the love way better than in a more days.
But we want to me, maybe I'll be as a cosa. Officer, Venia. We knew the cosa. Oh, she on what it.
I say, who I hate. It's not set. It is not lady. I say, I am self-appointed. So let him patronami was and then your first time or Hannah. Eh, mammy, more in that. Lawyer, why are they? I mean,
Yadamase, Imamuna official pass so Yankopo and can be our another than a
patron give tea and a lawyer and do you. It's more give tea in order was to one more follow soon and why are the other was it. I can crowd be whom give tea out better was
I salute you all. Thank you very much. Yame Enko Bibiao, na Unshram no Yamokesi. Dia ibeye how ebe musu onyi mfiri obi akwa mu. Ewo Yesu Kristo ni di mu. Enti amen. Adiana dane.